so much envy over him as of their lifestyle. They weren't living together, but they spent every weekend in each other's company, normally in bed when they weren't traveling the world. There wasn't a restaurant in the city where they hadn't eaten. There were invitations to every cultural event, to all the premieres and opening nights. These last 18 months had been a wonderful adventure. As the weeks passed, Erla found her love for Óttar deepen. She was now 37 and sensed that she was ready for something more. This was a new feeling. As a child, she had looked forward to a family of her own. Mum, Dad, children. Then the longing had somehow passed, and Erla had enjoyed life to the full, working her dream job and being with her friends. But something changed when Óttar came on the scene. Maybe it was a cliché. Sometimes life is a cliché, but Erla began to feel a kind of fear of time, of how it flew by so quickly. The day of Óttar's 50th had finally come. It was a beautiful Thursday in July, and the weather couldn't have been more perfect. He thought he was on his way to a modest barbecue with his mother and his sister, and of course, Erla. When she had met him the previous day, he had suspected nothing, not a thing. She had told him to look forward to a cozy evening with the most important women in his life, and that he needed to be home by 6:30. Nothing could be allowed to go wrong. Erla pulled herself out of bed and called the caterer to make sure everything was ready for tonight. "I put the stack of pancakes on the table in the living room," warbled Þrúður, Óttar's mother. Þrúður had a slight figure. In certain respects, she was like Erla, both of them of medium height, with narrow hips, but broader across the shoulders and chest than most women. Erla's mother had told her that she should bear her shoulders with pride, as they showed that her ancestors had been women who had toiled tirelessly in the wild northern winds in order to keep their heads above water and their families alive. "Hard-working women need space for their lungs," she had said joyfully. The memory brought a smile to Erla's lips. Þrúður normally had her dark, grey-shot hair pulled into a neat ponytail at the back of her head, but on special occasions she would put it up in an immaculate bun. She used makeup sparingly, as she had a fairly dark complexion, although she always wore lipstick, alternating 3 colours depending on the occasion. Today, it was deep red. This meant the occasion was seriously important. For her only son's big birthday, anything less would be unthinkable. Erla had brought in a caterer to provide the food. A delightful table had been set up, decorated with flower arrangements and bearing an elegant display of small dishes, all on an American barbecue theme. He loved barbecue cuisine. A great deal of effort had gone into preparing the table and the food so that his favourite dishes were tastefully presented, but the guests didn't feel drenched in barbecue sauce or left the party with it on their fine clothing. Erla had told his mother that she didn't need to do anything. All the same, Þrúður had arrived with a stack of rolled, sugared pancakes. Erla checked the table and noticed the pile sitting in its brown, oven-proof bowl, sticking out of the tasteful table setting as if a tower block had been erected in the middle of the old city. She had placed it between the mini burgers and the stylish plate of delicate mac and cheese dishes. "Wonderful, thank you," Erla said, giving Þrúður a smile that was entirely fake. She would ask the chef to rearrange things later on, when Þrúður would be less likely to notice. She couldn't stand those bloody sugar-sweet pancakes of theirs. She had noticed early on in their relationship that Óttar always made an effort to show his mother his best side, and she couldn't help finding this somehow fake, as if he were playing the role of the perfect, loving son. No one ever mentioned his father, who had left the country, abandoning his young family and never returning, or at least that was the story. Óttar had told her that Þrúður had searched for him for weeks, asking everyone they knew if they'd seen him, calling hotels around the world, and weeping inconsolably. Then, one morning, he had woken up to find that everything had changed. His mother had been ready with porridge and sweet sugared pancakes, immaculate and with a new smile on her lips. The appearance of that smile